What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, an object from another solar system is passing through our cosmic neighborhood? And one of the world's most powerful space agencies has gone completely silent about it. On October 3rd, 2025, something extraordinary happened near Mars. The European Space Agency released photos that have scientists both excited and puzzled. But here's the strange part. NASA, the agency we usually hear from about everything in space, has said absolutely nothing. No updates, no press releases, no explanations, just silence. Today we're diving deep into the mystery of 3I/ATLAS, the interstellar visitor that has everyone asking, what's really going on? Before we get into the controversy, let's talk about what makes 3I/ATLAS so incredibly special. Imagine living your entire life in one small town, and then one day a stranger from a completely different country shows up at your door. That's essentially what 3I/ATLAS is, but on a cosmic scale. This object was first spotted in July 2025 by the Atlas telescope in Chile. The name might sound complicated, but here's what it means. The 3I tells us it's the third interstellar object we've ever confirmed visiting our solar system. Atlas is simply the name of the telescope that discovered it. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, in all of human history, we've only ever seen 3 objects that came from another star system. First, there was Oumuamua in 2017, a strange cigar-shaped object that baffled scientists. Then came 2I/Borisov in 2019, which looked more like a typical comet. And now we have 3I/ATLAS. But here's what makes 3I/ATLAS truly mind-blowing. Scientists believe this could be the oldest comet ever observed. We're not talking hundreds or thousands of years old. We're talking about an object that might be 3 billion years older than our entire solar system. Our solar system is already 4.6 billion years old, which means 3I/ATLAS could have been floating through space for over 7 billion years. Think about that for a second. This object has been traveling through the darkness of space since before our sun even existed. It's seen things passed by stars, traveled distances we can barely comprehend. And now it's here, giving us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study something truly alien. October 3rd, 2025 was circled on every astronomer's calendar. This was the day 3I/ATLAS would make its closest approach to Mars, coming within just 30 million kilometers of the red planet. To put that in perspective, that's about 80 times the distance from Earth to the Moon. It sounds far, but in space terms, that's practically a close encounter. This flyby was huge because we had spacecraft perfectly positioned near Mars to get some of the best images ever taken of an interstellar object. The European Space Agency had 2 Mars orbiters ready to capture this historic moment. The ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, equipped with a camera called Cassis and Mars Express. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The cameras on these spacecraft weren't designed for this at all. They're built to photograph the bright surface of Mars from just a few hundred to a few thousand kilometers away. But scientists were asking them to capture something 30 million kilometers away. Something that's 10,000 to 100,000 times dimmer than what they usually photograph. It's like using a camera designed to take selfies and trying to photograph a candle flame on the other side of a city. The fact that they got any images at all is remarkable. And what did they see? The ESA released their photos on October 7th, and what we see is fascinating. 3I/ATLAS appears as a fuzzy white dot with a glowing halo around it. That glow is called a coma. It's created when the sun's heat causes the comet to release gas and dust, forming this beautiful cloud that can stretch thousands of kilometers across. Scientists also noticed something interesting. Unlike typical comets, they couldn't see a long tail streaming behind it in these images. That tail might be there, but it's too dim for the cameras to pick up. As 3I/ATLAS gets closer to the Sun and heats up more, that tail should become more visible. But here's the question everyone started asking. If the European Space Agency could capture these images and share them with the world, where were the photos from NASA? This is where our story takes a strange turn. NASA has the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which was actually closer to 3I/ATLAS than the European spacecraft. Experts expected it to capture the best images of all. This was supposed to be NASA's moment to shine, to give us unprecedented views of this mysterious visitor. But instead, nothing. No images, no updates, no announcements. When people went to NASA's website looking for information, all they found was a message that read, "Due to a lack of funding from the federal government, NASA is not updating this website." NASA had gone dark. You see, on the exact same day that 3I/ATLAS made its closest approach to Mars, October 3rd, the United States government entered a shutdown due to budget disputes in Congress. This meant that about 15,000 NASA employees were furloughed, sent home without pay. All non-essential operations stopped. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that makes sense. It's just bad timing, but is it really just bad timing? Let's think about this for a moment. The coincidence was almost too perfect. The most anticipated astronomical event in months happens on the exact day NASA goes silent. The internet exploded with theories. Was this really about a budget shutdown, or was there something more going on? Some people started asking, did NASA see something in their images that they didn't want to share? Is there something about 3I/ATLAS that we're not being told? The timing fueled all kinds of speculation. Online forums lit up with theories ranging from reasonable concerns to wild ideas about alien spacecraft. Even a member of Congress, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, got involved. She personally contacted NASA's director to make sure they were still observing 3I/ATLAS. According to reports, her intervention actually resulted in NASA repositioning equipment to capture the flyby images that would have been missed otherwise. But still, to this day, those images haven't been officially released to the public. So what's really going on here? Is this a conspiracy, or is there a simpler explanation? Enter Dr. Avi Loeb, a Harvard astrophysicist who has become one of the most prominent voices in the 3I/ATLAS story. Now, Dr. Loeb is known for making bold claims. He's previously suggested that interstellar objects like Oumuamua could potentially be alien technology. He's even said that 3I/ATLAS might be an alien mothership, and that humanity should be prepared. But when asked about NASA's silence, even Dr. Loeb had a surprisingly down-to-earth answer. He said, "The recent delay in the dissemination of data from NASA as a result of the government shutdown does not flag extraterrestrial intelligence, but rather terrestrial stupidity." Ouch! That's a pretty harsh way to put it, but he has a point. Dr. Loeb explained that large research teams typically take days or even weeks to analyze data before releasing it. Images need to be processed, calibrated, and verified. Scientists don't just snap a photo and immediately post it online like we do with our vacation pics. The government shutdown meant that the people who do this work weren't being paid and weren't at their desks. Communication channels were shut down. Press offices were closed. Even if scientists wanted to share information, the administrative machinery to do so simply wasn't functioning. It's frustrating, sure. But is it suspicious? Probably not. However, Loeb also pointed out something important. This highlights a major problem with how we handle space science. When political games and budget fights can silence our ability to share critical scientific information, we have a serious issue. He called NASA's silence during this crucial observation window the biggest failure of scientific transparency in recent years. The timing wasn't malicious, but the result was the same: a complete information blackout during one of the most important astronomical events of our lifetime. While NASA stayed silent, other organizations picked up the slack. And what we've learned about 3I/ATLAS is absolutely fascinating. The ESA's photos might not be high resolution, but they tell us a lot. The fuzzy glow around 3I/ATLAS is made up of gas and dust being released as the sun heats up the comet's icy surface. Specifically, scientists have detected carbon dioxide, CO2, and water vapor. The Hubble Space Telescope also captured images of 3I/ATLAS back in July, showing it with a teardrop-shaped cloud of material streaming off its surface. That image showed the coma extending about 4,000 kilometers across. But here's something really interesting. Based on data from NASA's SPHEREX observatory, that plume of carbon dioxide gas actually extends much farther, out to at least 348,000 kilometers. That's almost as far as the distance from Earth to the Moon. We still don't know exactly how big 3I/ATLAS actually is. Scientists estimate its nucleus, the solid core made of ice and rock, could be anywhere from 5 to 46 kilometers in diameter. That's a pretty big range. It's somewhere between the size of a small mountain and the size of a large asteroid. Why such uncertainty? Well, measuring the size of something this far away and this dim is incredibly difficult. It's like trying to figure out the exact size of a light bulb on the other side of town. You can see the glow, but the actual bulb is too small to make out clearly. What we do know is that 3I/ATLAS is behaving like a comet. It's releasing gas and dust as it heats up. It has a coma and probably a tail. In many ways, it looks similar to comets from our own solar system. But there's one crucial difference. This comet formed around a completely different star in a completely different solar system, under completely different conditions. Studying it is like opening a time capsule from another world. The James Webb Space Telescope also observed 3I/ATLAS in August, using its powerful infrared instruments to analyze the comet's composition. Scientists detected both water and carbon dioxide, which confirms it's similar in some ways to our solar system's comets. But the full analysis of that data is still ongoing. NASA's shutdown created something dangerous: an information vacuum. And you know what fills information vacuums? Speculation, theories, and sometimes complete nonsense. With no official updates coming from one of the world's most trusted space agencies, amateur astronomers took matters into their own hands. YouTubers and backyard telescope enthusiasts started posting their own observations. Some of these were legitimate scientific contributions, others not so much. One YouTuber who goes by Dobsonian Power released an image that went viral on social media. People started claiming they could see structural anomalies in 3I/ATLAS. Wild theories spread like wildfire. Everything from claims that it was changing its orbit to suggestions that it had vanished entirely. None of these theories had any basis in reality. But without NASA providing reliable information, how was the general public supposed to know what to believe? This is exactly why scientific communication is so important. When trusted sources go silent, misinformation fills the gap. Even China's relative silence on 3I/ATLAS became a source of conspiracy theories, with some suggesting that China might be hiding important discoveries about the object. In reality, China's space program has always been less transparent about its observations, but the lack of information from NASA made even normal behavior seem suspicious. The whole situation became a perfect storm of confusion, with legitimate scientific interest mixing with wild speculation and conspiracy theories. So where do we go from here? What's next for 3I/ATLAS? Right now, 3I/ATLAS is on the far side of the Sun from Earth, making it impossible for us to observe from our planet. It's hidden by the Sun's glare. What do you think about NASA's silence? Was it just bad timing, or is there more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 3i/ATLAS mystery, smash that like button and subscribe for more space content.